Hello, I am Dan from ASRV Rentals and Sales, and today we're going to be taking a look at this brand new 2023 Thor Chateau Model 25V. I'll be showing you everything you need to know about the inside and the outside, so you'll be all set and prepared when you decide to rent from us. Now, we like to say that our RVs are 12.5 feet tall, so you want to watch out for places like parking garages and drive-thrus, although most tunnels should be fine. And although we haven't written the length down here as of yet, it is 26.5 feet long. Starting off on the driver's side here, we have our propane tank right here. Now, this tank is going to last about a week or so before you'll have to refill it. And if you do, truck stations and campsites will do it for you. The propane tank will be for things like your fridge when you're not plugged in, as well as your furnace and your hot water heater and your stove and oven. Next up here, we have our dumping station. So this will be how we dump out our gray and black waste tanks. So all you want to do is you're going to take this sewer hose that we'll give you. You're going to take this end with the teeth and you're going to clip it onto this outlet right here. You're also going to take the other end with your elbow and you're going to stick this in the ground at your campsite or your sewage or wherever else you're dumping. From there, we have two color-coded valves. We have our gray valve here, which is for our gray water tank, that's our sink and shower water. And we have our black valve for our black tank, that's our toilet water. When it's pulled out, that means it's open. So if there were anything in the tanks right now, they'd be coming out due to gravity. You're just going to open up the black one first, we recommend, and then the gray one to kind of flush out your hose when you're done. But when the gauges inside say that your waste tanks are empty, you can just push them back in to close them. You can unscrew the hose and you are all set. Next up, we have our power cord connector. So we'll give you the power cord, of course. This is a 30 amp RV, so you want to make sure that your campsite has 30 amp service. Once you're plugged in, all the major electrical appliances inside will be working. That'll be your AC unit on the roof, it'll be your microwave, your TV, and all your power outlets. Below that, we have our TV cable inlet. We'll give you the TV cable, so you just want to hook this up in here at your campsite, and you can find all the local channels through cable. If you don't, that's also alright. We have an antenna for this RV, so you can find local channels through the air instead. Next to that, we have our outside shower. So if you are, you have dirt on you or sand on you and you want to wash that off before you head inside, you can just take this little faucet out of here and just wash yourself down real quick. Below that, we have our city water inlet. Now we have a city water inlet and a fresh water inlet. The other one will be on the other side, and I'll get to that. But for now, we have this one here. You're going to take a hose that we'll give you. You're going to hook it up in here when you're at your campsite. So you want to take the campsite's water instead of your own water. You're going to take it up, hook it up in here. It'll bypass your water tank and it'll go straight into your pipes when you're plugged in here. Back here is our gasoline inlet. So this RV takes regular 87 gas, so no premium or no diesel. Next to that is our tank flush valve. You won't have to worry about this. It just helps us clean and sanitize the tanks for our next customer. Down here we have our generator. And the generator is basically a substitute for when you're not plugged in at a campsite. Your generator will give power to pretty much everything that would be powered if you were plugged into your 30 amp connection at your campsite. The generator is going to run on engine gas, so as long as you're at least a quarter tank full of gas, you can expect this to work. The only reason you'd have to come out here and do anything is because you accidentally run the AC and the microwave at the same time. That'll be a bit too powerful for this generator and it'll cause it to trip. In case you do that, you're going to take this top off here like I did. You're just going to see this little breaker here. This will flip back if you run those two things at the same time. So all you want to do is just flip it towards you. Everything else is handled inside the RV. Above that, we have a very big storage area. And this will also be where we give you all of your hoses and cords for your rental. As we saw earlier, this is our sewer hose for our dumping station. We also have our 30 amp power cord. This is going to have 3 prongs as opposed to 50 amp, which has 4 prongs. And then we also have this little bag which has a few things. We have our black wire. This is our TV cable. We also have this white hose here. This will be for your city water connection and your fresh water connection. And we'll also give you a 30 amp to 15 amp adapter for your power cord. The only difference this will be is that you cannot run your AC unit on the roof once you're plugged into 15 amp. Now onto the back of the RV, we have our rear view camera that'll go out about 8 feet. And that will turn on when you put your RV in reverse, or you can also leave it on your display when you're driving. We also have our ladder that goes up to the roof. This is only for service and maintenance, so yes, our customers do not go up to the roof here. We also have another entrance to that big storage area in the back here, and this is also where we have put our spare tire. And now onto the passenger side, we have yet another entrance to that big storage area. We have another small storage area down here, and we have one final storage area down here. This is usually for things like umbrellas or beach chairs. Over here we have our freshwater inlet. So as opposed to the city water inlet, you're going to use the same hose for this, but this will be to fill up your tank on the RV. So if you're not connected to water at your campsite or your boondocking, you want to take water off of your tank, and this will be how you fill it up. Below that, we have some regular standard wall outlets here. You just want to make sure that you're plugged into your campsite or the generator is running for these to work. We have our hot water exhaust here and our furnace exhaust here, so of course expect them to be hot and don't put your hand there. We also have our refrigerator exhaust up here. This is going to start leaking water. It's just condensation, just how it works, so no need to worry about that. That concludes the outside portion of this walkthrough, so we can head inside here. You'll note that we have a detachable screen door here, and that'll just clip on when you close it like that. At the entrance, you have a lot of switches and stuff around here. So on my right, we have our fire extinguisher, and we also have a smoke detector and carbon monoxide detector inside the cabin. We have a bunch of switches over here. These are all lights. So we have our inside lights. These will be the galley lights right here. We have an entry step light right here. It's for this little light down here. We have our awning, so as I hold this down, we can extend and retract this. It goes out about 8 feet total, and it's only for shade, so if it gets windy or rainy, you should bring it back in. This is going to run on the house battery, and I'll get to that in just a moment. The awning light means the LED strip for the awning outside. We have a step light, which actually is right above my foot over here. You'll see that at nighttime. And then we have cargo lights. So you want to have this on if you want to turn on and off the lights inside each separate storage area. Over here at the entrance, we have probably the most important part of the inside of the RV. We have our control panel, which will tell you everything you need to know. I'll start off in this corner here where we have the levels of all of the tanks. So as I hold down on each of these buttons, these lights will turn on from empty to full. We have our propane, that's our LPG. I'll hold this down, you can see that's empty. We have our battery, our house battery, that's full. Fresh water is empty. We have our black tank is empty, and our gray waste tank is empty. Next up we have our slide out, so we're going to hold this down to extend it and to retract it. Right now it is already fully out, but unlike the awning, you actually want to have the keys in the ignition and the engine turned on while the parking brake is down for this to work. We have our tank heater switches here, so you can heat up your black and gray waste tanks if you're traveling to a place where it's below freezing. If you aren't, you can leave these off. Next up is our water pump. So if I switch this on, you'll see this little light turns on. This helps us draw water from our water tank. So if you are not plugged into your campsite, you want to have this on if you want to use anything that uses water. But if you are plugged into your campsite, you want to have this off. Next up we have our water heater. So we can heat up our water with two different ways. Either way, it'll take up to 15 minutes, so you want to plan that much in advance. If you aren't plugged in at a campsite, we can use LP gas, that's our propane gas. You can just switch that on. But if you are plugged into electricity at your campsite, we can use 110 volt electricity to heat up your water and just save a bit of that propane. And we also have our generator. So this gauge will tell you the total number of hours the generator has been running ever since it was manufactured. So right now it says 0.8 hours. We recommend you have the generator on for no more than 3 hours at a time, and then have it off for about 2 to 3 hours just to prevent it from overheating. If you want to turn on the generator, you're actually going to hold down stop first for a few seconds until this red light turns on. Once you do that, it's primed and ready. We can hold down start, give it a few seconds, and there you go. You're going to wait about 30 seconds, and then when you hear the microwave beep, that means that everything inside will be working. With the generator on, I'll show you how to find channels on the TV. So once it's on, you're going to press input right here, and you're going to make sure that your input source is set to TV. From there, we'll press the menu, we'll go over to channels, go over to auto channel search, and then we can either use the antenna, or if you're plugged into cable at your campsite, we can use cable from the wall. Right now, I'm at the antenna, so I'll just go over there, I'll click on that, and then it'll take about 5 minutes to find channels for you. In the bedroom, we have our thermostat, so we can control our AC and furnace this way. So this switch is just going to be to control how fast the fan will go. Right now you can see that it's set to heat, so we're using the furnace, which is going to use a bit of the propane and a bit of the house battery to turn this on. We'll switch it over to off here, We switch it over to fan, that'll be just the fan, you can hear that turn on. And then we can go over to cool, that'll engage the compressor, and this is your real AC. And then this here will be, of course, to control the temperature. In here we have a bunch of storage all around above my head. We also have a skylight here with an exhaust fan. And then we also have our switch here, of course, and a privacy curtain that'll go across here. We have some more storage in the form of some drawers here. And then we also have a wardrobe here, and you can hang your clothes in here if you'd like. To my right here we have our bathroom, so we can just open this up. It'll clip onto the magnet here, and this door will also open up if you like that. Most things in here are intuitive, of course, but I will point out a few things. The toilet paper is RV specific, so you want to make sure you have RV marine dissolvable toilet paper. You can get that at like the camping section at Walmart, or campsites will also sell it. We also have some bottles of solution for the toilet, so in case the smell comes up from the black tank, sometimes it does, you can just pour a bit of that down there just to freshen up the toilet. To flush the toilet, there's a little pedal by my right foot here. Just going to push down on that to flush it. Of course, you want to make sure that your water pump is on or you're plugged into city water at your campsite. And we also have a standard shower here. Down to my left, we have our combined fuse box and circuit breaker box. We'll give you some extra fuses for your rental as well. Now onto the kitchen area, I'll start off with the fridge. When you're not plugged in at a campsite, your fridge will be running off of propane. But once you do plug in, it will automatically switch over to the electricity. So no matter what, your fridge will stay on and your food will be kept cool. Next up, we have our standard house microwave here. You just want to make sure not to run the AC and the microwave at the same time when you're on the generator. When you're plugged into shore power, you definitely can. Below that, we have our stove. So we have our 3 knobs for each of the 3 burners, and we have our pilot light right here. So you just want to set each of these to the fire option and hit the burner. Once you're done with the stove, you want to wait a few minutes before you put the glass top back on, just in case the propane gets trapped in there. Sometimes the glass might shatter. Below that, it looks like we have some ovens, but we actually have these really big drawers, usually for storing pots and pans. We have a bunch of cabinet and drawer space all around the kitchen area here. Down here as well. And a place for storing your trash. We have a kitchen sink with a cover over here, and if you wanted some additional kitchen space, some extra tabletop, you can bring this up here like this. It'll clip on, and then you want to push on these down here to bring it back down. You have a lot of overhead storage as well on the passenger side here and on the driver's side above the dinette area. We have our slide out dinette area. We have 2 seat belts here. And we also have some extra drawer space on either side. This will turn into a bed, and I'll show you that right now. First, you want to take these 4 cushions out. Taking these cushions out, you'll also notice that we have an anchor for a child seat here. Below the tabletop, we have a little lever here. When it's flipped to the right, it's locked in and the tabletop will not move. But once we flip it over to the left, that will unlock it, and now we can push it down onto these ledges here. And lastly, we can take our cushions, put them in this format, and here's our bed. For the windows, we have a little latch here. When it's pushed down, that's locked, and when you push it upwards, it'll unlock. When it's unlocked, we can slide it like this. For the blinds, we can just pull it down and push it back up. Something new for this dinette is we have a little wireless charging station here, and if you take this little top off here, we have a USB and a USB-C charger as well. For our overhead, we have a little cushion here that you can slide out, just like this, and we have an additional sleeping area. We also have a privacy room that goes across here, and another one that will Velcro onto the front here. We'll also have a ladder that you can attach onto here for easier access. As far as our keys go, we have our ignition here. Our purple key is going to be for our cabin door, and then we have a gray key which is going to be for the outside compartments. On our keychain, we'll also give you contact information, so if you have any questions about your rental, you can always give us a call. If you have any problems about your RV, about how things work or something's broken, we'll give you a separate 24/7 roadside assistance number you can call anytime. We'll also give you a paper with a QR code, so that'll be access to an online guide/FAQ for most of your problems. As far as the front cab goes, it's pretty much like a normal car or truck. You have your AC, your lights, blinkers. I'll point you to this display here. So we have our radio. You can connect your phone with Bluetooth. There's also Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And then we also have our camera here. So if you click this, you will have access to your rear view camera whenever you'd like. We also have side view cameras as well. So if I flip my indicator to the right here, you'll see that this is our right camera. This is on our side view mirror. And then this is our left camera. Our parking brake is by my left foot here. You're just going to push in to engage it, and there's a handle here to release it. And that'll be it for our walkthrough of this 2023 Thor Chateau Model 25V. I'm Dan from Ace RV Rentals and Sales, and have a great trip.